Alright, let's get into it. Most guys think satisfying a woman is about technique, timing, or knowing the right moves in bed. That's part of it, sure, but it's not the foundation. در یه ترک دیوان almost nobody talks about is persons, full undistracted, embodied persons. Women feel the difference instantly between a man who's physically there but mentally somewhere else and a man who's completely locked in with her in that moment with nothing else pulling at his attention. This isn't some abstract idea, it's a psychological. When a woman feels truly seen and felt by you, her nervous system relaxes, and a relaxed nervous system is the actual gateway to real satisfaction, emotional and physical both. Most men skip this step entirely because their thought satisfaction is mechanical. It's not. It's a relational first. If this is hitting home for you, do me a favor, smash that like button and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Here's where it gets even more overlooked. Satisfaction isn't built in the bedroom, it's built in the hours, days, and weeks before you ever get there. If a woman spends her day feeling unheard, dismissed, or like an afterthought, her body doesn't just switch on later because you tried harder in bed. Arousal for most women is contextual. It depends heavily on how safe, respected, and prioritized she felt throughout the day. That text you sent checking in on her is a restful meeting. The way you actually listened when she vented about her sister, the effort you made to help without being asked. All of that is a foreplay. Real foreplay starts an hour earlier, not minutes earlier. Men who get this right aren't doing anything flashy. They're just consistently attentive, and it changes everything. Now let's talk about pace, because this is where so many men rush without realizing it. Satisfying her isn't a race to a finish line. It's closer to reading a book slowly enough to actually understand it. When men spend up because they're nervous, excited, or just used to a certain rhythm, they miss all the small signals she's giving off. A shift in breathing, a change in her body language, the subtle cues that say slow down here or say right there. Slowing down isn't about lasting longer for its own sake. It's about giving yourself enough time to actually notice her. Presence and pace go hand in hand. If you're moving too fast to notice her responses, you're not really with her. You're just going through motions, and she can absolutely tell the difference. Be honest, is presence or technique the thing you struggle with most? Communication is the next piece, and this is the one most men avoid because it feels awkward. But awkward silence is worse than an awkward question. Simple, direct questions like, does this feel good? Or wants me to keep doing this aren't a mood killer. They're actually a huge turn for most women because it shows confidence and attentiveness at the same time. Guessing what she likes based on what worked with someone else or what you saw somewhere online is a losing strategy. Every woman's body responds differently and the only way to actually know what works is to ask, listen, and adjust in real time. Men who ask simple check-in questions consistently report way better connection because it turns the moment into a two-way conversation instead of a one-sided performance. Let's get into emotional safety because this might be the single biggest gap in most relationships. A woman can't fully let go and feel satisfied if a part of her brain is still on guard, worried about being judged, worried about how her body looks, worried about whether she's doing it right. Your job isn't to fix that with words alone. It's to build a pattern of non-judgmental acceptance so consistent that her guard naturally comes down over time. This means no weird faces, no comments about her body that could be taken the wrong way, no comparing her to anyone else even jokingly. Emotional safety is built moment by moment and is fragile. One careless moment can undo weeks of trust, and men who protect their safety fiercely tend to have partners who feel more relaxed, more expressive, and more genuinely satisfied. Which one hits you hardest? Pace communication or aftercare? Drop it below. Aftercare is another piece that gets almost zero attention, but it matters just as much as everything that came before it. What you do in the minutes after intimacy tells her a lot about whether this was about connection or just release. Staying close or holding her, saying something genuine, or just being present without rushing off to check your phone. These small moments cement the emotional experience. Women often describe a feeling satisfied not just by what happened, but by how it ended. If a man gets everything else right but checks out immediately afterward, it can leave her feeling used rather than cherished. Aftercare isn't optional extra credit. It's part of the main event, and escaping it undercuts everything that happened before. One of the most underrated tools in this whole equation is simply asking her what satisfaction actually means to her outside of any specific moment. Sit down, no pressure, no immediate expectation, and ask her to describe what makes her feel most connected, most desired, most at ease. Most couples never have this conversation directly. They rely on assumptions built from movies, past partners, or trial and error, but every woman has a slightly different definition of what satisfaction feels like to her, emotionally and physically, and the only way to truly know is to ask directly and actually listen without getting defensive. There's a signal conversation can save years of guessing and misfiring, and it signals a level of maturity that most men never reach. Got a question about your own relationship? Drop it in the the comments below. I read every single one and I might answer yours in the next video. At the end of the day, the trick most men overlook isn't a physical technique at all. It's treating satisfaction as an ongoing relationship skill rather than a one-time event. It's built through presence, pacing, communication, emotional safety, aftercare, and genuine curiosity about her experience, not just yours. And men who master this aren't necessarily the most experienced or the most confident looking guys. They're the ones who pay attention and keep adjusting based on what she actually needs, not what they assume she needs. This mindset shift, more than any single move or trick, is what separates men who leave women feeling truly satisfied from men who leave them feeling like something was missing. And once you start applying it, you'll notice the difference almost immediately in and out of the bedroom.